But for to be a mother of a black man, this is so real.
Yeah.
Because it hits differently, because it's your today, it's your tomorrow.
Yeah.
COVID keeps families closer.
Yeah.
I think your son's home now.
He
right?
is home, yeah.
But there are other people who have families sheltering in place and they're not home.
Right.
I was, complaining about the sheltering in place in the pandemic, which is kind of on the back burner now with Black Lives Matter. And so COVID hits everybody differently because it's stressful, I think, to be at home. But a friend of mine was talking about how stressful it is to have children who are not at home, right? They're in a different state, they're in a different place. Different parts of the country are in different phases. Illinois is in the benefit of being in phase 3.
Yeah.
But other places are still New York is in phase 1.
Yeah.
I think DC is
and that's
still
where our son lived.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And so it's hitting everybody differently. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
and I would just say, so our son, he posted a story that was picked up by the Trib, and, he wrote it and then shared it with us. And, of course, I remember all these things that happened. And he only talked about 2 or 3 incidents that happened. And there were multiple that happened, during his time in schools here in Naperville. But reading those, it just takes you back. And now he's 28, but at, 16 and 17, how kids are already very vulnerable at that age, right? And so they have to deal with, lost loves and all this other stuff. But they're, our kids of color are also dealing with other things, right? And, our son, he had a hard time in school in terms of dealing with that stuff. Academically, socially, he had friends, he did very well academically, but that still hung over his head. Like, people had to attack him. He got into all these Ivy League schools. Well, you only got into those schools because you're black, right?
Course.
That's really every school? Every school?
Every single school.
It
can't just be because you're qualified or you're smart.
And, but it, watching him put that on paper, and even now having these conversations with both he and our daughter lives in D.C. and she's home as well. But I'm thankful that my kids are home and we're able to be together as we talk through this. And I see how much it affects them, I mean, and they're older, but they're going to be parents one day, and they understand that this is, I think with George Floyd, the horrific murder of Mr. Floyd, it is my hope that in our lifetime we're going to see change. And probably not in my lifetime will I think I'll see some change, but I hope that my kids and my grandkids really see a life free of racism. And I'm hopeful now because I see the people who are at these peaceful protests. And I think, people want to talk about riots, and look, none of us agree. You shouldn't be out, these opportunities, people are taking advantage of opportunities. They're going out and looting and all that. None of that this is not what we're talking about. So try not, I think some people want to just put those two together. Peaceful protest, it's protected by our Constitution, and it should happen. And I hope actually it happens every single day until people realize that we're done. This is #MeToo for civil rights. And when I think back to 1968, right? It was a year of protest. It's going to take a year of protest for us to get to the other side. And if it wasn't in COVID, and if I didn't have my 83-year-old dad living with me, I'd be out there protesting every single day too. So I'm not mad at it. I think the protests need to continue. The looting does not. We need to stop that crap. We need to be mindful of a man lost his life.
Yes.
I mean, every time I think about it, I just get chills.
And so many others.
And so many others.
I mean,